But yeah,
Mhm.
my oldest son, for example, was many years here. And he just left the show. He was about 5 or 6 years as one of the leads in Harry Potter on
Oh
Broadway.
well,
He was playing Ron Weasley, Harry's.
Harry's
Uh,
best friend.
yeah, because of David, my son, is a tall redhead, and so that's suited because the original movie Ron Weasley was also a redhead. So yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, and before that, he had a lot of different shows on Broadway, and now he often goes in as Santa Claus on Radio City. In fact, he's doing it now. He's one of the Santas. They have about three of them, I think. But he does day shows because he wants to be with his kids at night. And yeah, so actually, I like to joke he's the first Jewish Santa Claus that they've had there, man.
That's great. That's great. And you guys, I seem to remember something. You have got a lot of connection with Israel with some of your investments or some of the companies you work with.
Yes, yes. Look, when I was a young man in Rhodesia, the whole of the Rhodesian and South Africa was immediately adjacent to Rhodesia. Was just the northern border of South Africa. So
And it's a landlocked
the Jewish,
country,
yeah,
kind
the
of beautiful
Jewish
country.
community, yeah, the Jewish community in South Africa was strongly allied to the birth of Israel. Um, and they hold disparate opinions about Israel, and they're the left wing and the right wing. They're like in any society.
Oh,
But
yep.
yeah, but we all so yeah. I my sisters emigrated there. I had to do my medical studies, and I had to do and then I segue to America. But I go back there as often as I can. I have my sister still there, my older sister. My younger sister lives in Switzerland and Berlin now. But in Israel, there's a tremendous uh, innovative, spirit. First of all, like many diasporic people, whether Armenian or Scottish or Irish or Jewish or what have you, you find yourself in other people's lands. And as a result, you're very given to close family associationships. You're given to education to promote interests and and advance your standing. So that applied, and all of this is in year to the benefit of that state. So that invention in medtech especially has really it's excelled in medtech as almost a result of its needs, in high tech. Some of it due to high tech needs for defense, and others high tech needs for tackling the desert. I mean, the land was not fertile and not. So they're turning the desert into fertile land on various technologies, and draining swamps which were malaria ridden and made fertile grounds out of that. So it's a very innovative place, and so yeah, and because of my affiliations to it and my family affiliations, I'd go back there and I'd find very interesting med tech opportunities, which have now become there are many unicorns that have emanated from that innovation. It's called the startup. Its nickname is the Startup Nation. It's like a giant. Yes, it's a giant venture capital pool, basically.
Yep.
If you took California and its brain power and squashed it into the area of New Hampshire, you'd get a picture of what Israel is right now in terms of innovation. Hate to be again. I realize people have different opinions about the country, but and if they go there and really examine it, they'd find it as a very inclusive place.
Uh-huh.
Israeli 20% of the Arabs, 20% of the population there are Muslim Arabs, largely Muslim Arabs, and they
For 2 million and
yes,
well accepted and
and they live
well
there.
integrated.
They're judges, they're beauty queens, they're captains of industry, they serve in the army voluntarily. They're not forced to because the Israelis don't want to force Arabs to fight Arabs. But the Druze population and the Christian Arab population are very commonly found in the IDF, in the border police and all that. So it's an inclusive. Gay population is flourishing in Tel Aviv. We have everything from ultra Orthodox, revanchist Jewish people dressed in the costumes of the Burgermeisters. Those are the costumes of the Burgermeisters of the Hanseatic period,
Uh-huh.
and they borrowed this. There were frock coats and stockings
Look, if you
and
got a
and
good thing, don't change it.
well, I mean, it's got nothing. It's got nothing to do with. I say to them when I meet them, "Why are you dressed like a Burgermeister?" And they would look at me, and I said, if you really wanted to be dressed in ancient Jewish garb, you'd have a tunic and a head, head with rope, a head like the Arabs wear, with a rope around your head and a rope around your waist and a brown sack tunic, and sandals. Um, they look at me blankly.
Uh-huh. They're like, yeah, and that's not so
You,
fun. Come on.
yeah, you can detect that I'm a fairly secular Jew. Actually,
Yeah, no, that's great. The my opinion with Israel is warm, but I've never been there. And I find that anywhere you go, when you go there and you meet the people and you break bread, hard not to like
yeah.
people.
Look, I have promoted some charities. I still do in Israel that are for the enhanced rapprochement between Arabs and Jews. Um, the way it's been done in this particular charity is I met a colonel from the Israeli Air Force who was intent on this. And he set up an after school college for high schoolers to get extra tuition so that their chances of getting good spaces in the Israeli universities, or any university for that matter, would be heightened over and above their high school qualifications. Okay, so it's like after hours extra extra tuition. And he had started in space science and aeronautics, which is natural for an Air Force colonel. But I came in and sort of helped with, veering it towards maybe some of the biological sciences, and so it's a very worthwhile charity, and it's one of the other one I support is animals. There are tremendous number of stray animals in Israeli cities, Arab and Jewish, especially stray dogs and cats, of course. And I love animals, and I help to take care of them that way, as well as donating to medical charities, of course, which are paramount in my donations.